infant, and matured believers. About 2,000 years ago, there were believers in the early church who had put their faith in Jesus. Even in the midst of persecution, they worked hard to remain faithful. As time passed, about 30 years had gone by since Jesus' resurrection. By then, they should have grown enough to teach others God's word. However, their faith had not grown as much as it should have. They still needed someone to explain the basic teachings to them, and they were unable to discern God's word for themselves. It was as if grown adults were still living on baby food. That is why Hebrews contains this sobering statement, "By this time, you ought to be teachers." Although they had been believers for many years, they were still like spiritual infants who needed milk. Mature believers, however, were different. They did not merely hear God's word, they put it into practice in their daily lives. As a result, they learned to distinguish between good and evil. God did not want His people to remain spiritual babies. He wanted them to move beyond milk and grow into mature believers who could handle solid food. And this passage asks us the same question today. 2,000 years later, how long have I been a believer? But the more important question is this: how much have I grown?